You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
Hello and welcome to conversation with CXOs. Today I have Mitra, Vice President and General Manager Worldwide, SMB at Aruba Networks, which is HPE company. And today's conversation is around Aruba's strategy for the SMBs in India, and we'll try to extract some flavor from Amol about what's happening in the global scenario. And our conversation will remain majorly on the cybersecurity and network. So Amol, thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to SAB channels.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Start with Amol, if you can give a perspective of what's happening around SMBs globally from tech perspective, tech adoption. And later on, if you can pinpoint on this India market.
So thanks for having us, Sanjay. And as you mentioned, I manage the Aruba SMB business across the world. There's different functions which I manage within that kind of scope. Everything from sales to R&D to product management to operations to business intelligence and the ever popular these days word of supply. So I manage all of that for Aruba SMB globally. So it's great to have this opportunity to have a conversation with you around the business and what is happening. If you look at small and medium businesses, as we come out of the pandemic, we've seen a lot of changes in the marketplace globally in this area, not just on the way people work, but also how business and is transacted today in the marketplace. So if I were to step back and just talk about the global market, the SMB business is a very, very large market in the networking space. So the Aruba business is the networking arm of Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And we are what is called the intelligent edge business, because all of our business focuses around the edge of the network, which is where your end device connects into a Wi-Fi or a wired port on the network, right? So that is the business Aruba is in. Within the Aruba business, we have created a brand called Aruba Instant On. And that brand is specifically tailored and custom made for the SMB market. Small and medium business market. And just if I were to take, a quick anecdote of, how big this market is, just the small part of the small and medium business is about a $2.6 billion business today from a market opportunity perspective. And clearly India is one of the, leading countries in that opportunity space in the market. So the market is quite big, and we've created this brand to go after that market opportunity we have. Now, if you look at trends, and coming back to your question around, so what has happened around this SMB business and then what has changed, right? Pre-pandemic, SMBs or SMEs were moving into this area of, upgrading their network. Their IT budgets were getting constrained. Even in an environment, upgrades need to happen. There was a slow shift towards cloud and enabling their networks through a cloud kind of environment and cloud ecosystem. And as we went through the pandemic, some of that slowed down. But now, we're back on this accelerated phase of market trends in the SMB space. The first one is around cloud adoption, right? A lot of SMBs are looking at how can we make our networks more agile and flexible? How can they make the IT infrastructure agile and flexible? So now about 83% of SMBs worldwide are looking at cloud-based business applications, right? Which is quite interesting because they understand that they cannot come to rip and replace things as technologies evolve. They would rather have a cloud environment where they have the flexibility and agility to take technology as it comes and move at that pace, right? So SMBs are looking at shifting towards cloud. The second one, which we are doing right now, which is video conferencing, has taken on a different form through the pandemic. About 70% of SMBs have said that they're replacing in-person meetings and events with video conferencing, right? So the work from home trend has made SMBs also relook at their business and how they're doing business, whether it's video conferencing, whether it's e-commerce, etc. So those are some trends in the marketplace. About 40% of SMBs are saying worldwide that they want to upgrade their connectivity. That means they either want to enhance or extend the Wi-Fi network or extend their network because now they're reaching into their employees' homes or they're reaching into other branch locations, etc. So they want to upgrade and make Wi-Fi faster. So they want to upgrade the connectivity of what they are looking at driving for their businesses. 45% of small businesses are looking at growing their IT budgets, which was not the case during the pandemic. So now they're looking at how they can invest to make IT an asset for them as a small business, so that they can become agile and flexible, and at the end make more money and revenue with this flexibility they have. And with all of that, obviously, as you mentioned earlier, comes the challenge of what we call security, right? So as we have all of these trends, and as SMBs and SMEs are moving to these new cloud-based services, or looking at video conferencing, or looking at more interaction online, they want to make sure that there's secure environments, the networks are secure, the way they communicate is secure, and in general, security has just become paramount. It always was, but now it's even more important in this cyber world we live in. Cybersecurity becomes an important trend for SMEs to fix or to enhance within this new environment, right? So those are Sanjay, these are some mega trends in the marketplace, which we are seeing at a worldwide level, right? And I think they definitely solely and surely apply to the India market, because it's exactly what is happening in India as well. As people start working from home, or they move out of metros and go into their paternal homes or their own homes outside of the metros, these same challenges come about. Right. And so SMEs have to now really adopt and become flexible, agile in this new environment. And that trend is core to how India's digital infrastructure will move over time. Right. So with the push from the government and the public sector to move to this digital infrastructure, digital transformation, that trend applies to SMB as well. And a lot of times we think, oh, that's probably large enterprises do that. Yes, but in addition, SMBs actually have lesser baggage to adopt to these digital transformation and digital, initiatives much faster than anywhere else. So we see that trend in India as well. So I just wanted to give you that kind of market trend perspective on what is happening. And this is why we created this brand to essentially go after and capitalize on these market trends.
All right. Are you seeing a changing trend that had happened? New normal had happened. People are started working from their homes, remote offices. Are you seeing it is coming to normalcy, or it's still organizations are mandating people to work from home? That means giving a hybrid option to work.
Yeah. I think, if I were to, make a summary of what is happening, is hybrid is here to stay, right? Which is the hybrid world of working, whether it's in the office or at home, is here to stay. Before it was, before the pandemic, I guess it was like we wake up in the morning, we pack our briefcases and go to work and then come back. Now, we go into our offices in our house, or our office is physically located outside, right? So the hybrid work environment, and you look at a lot of trends in the US or where I am from in Singapore, there's not many multinationals especially mandating their employees to come to work. There's not many who do that. Everybody is giving the flexibility to their employees to see what makes sense for them from a productivity perspective, honestly, to where they want to work physically in the office or at home. So I don't think that hybrid world is going to change. A lot of companies have said it's completely voluntary if you want to come to work or not. And not just because, honestly, of the pandemic. In general, I think the productivity of employees is improving and increasing. And there's a lot of reports which say that if you give the flexibility to the employees to work in this hybrid environment, actually the productivity of the employees is going to go much, much better. So I don't think hybrid is going away. I don't think people or companies are going to mandate folks to come back to work. And I fundamentally believe, at least at HPE, we're doing exactly the same thing. You know, you have the flexibility to work from wherever you are, for collaboration, for communication, and for face-to-face engagement. You can come to the work, but in general, if you want to work from home, then that is here to stay as well.
All right, Amal. The other thing is that there is a saying I'm also hearing from the CISOs or CIOs that there is a tremendous pressure on them to digitize their assets. This thing which was not there. Of course, triggering point is called pandemic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
2021, from last 2 years, and they are
Yeah.
saying that it is going to increase till maybe next couple of years. So the investment are going to be very heavy on the infrastructure, on be it cybersecurity or data center or other
Yes. Yes.
plus, and after that is going to slow down.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
is it what your feeling is?
Yeah, Sanjay, I think digitization and digitization of assets will continue to grow over time because, again, it gives the agility and flexibility for businesses to conduct their operations much more effectively. Right? That's at the end what digital transformation, which I mentioned earlier, is all about, right? And it's assets, it's IT infrastructure, it is physical assets which are getting digitized as well. So it goes beyond IT and IT infrastructure, right? It is digitization and globalization of the digital world, or digitization needs to happen for any enterprise or for any SMB, right? So that is going to continue to stay. Now, part of the kind of side effect of digitization is going to be, hey, can we secure these assets in a mechanism where they are bulletproof and they're hardened security, which needs to get delivered. Now, that trend, Sanjay, I don't think is going to go away because there's more and more assets which are going to get created. There's more and more data which is going to be available. And as more data becomes more available, and as data transforms into information, that information will get digitized, right? So I think that upward trend of digitization is going to stay. Now, from that poses the issue of security, obviously. So can you secure these assets in a way where nobody else can tamper with it? And that trend will also continue. So while we may see a spike in that right now, just because of we're coming out of the pandemic, as you said, we will continue to see that upward trend be maybe not exponentially in the cybersecurity and the digitization world, but you'll see it go in an upward trend over time. Because at the end, as more data gets created, digitization is required, and so that the security aspects are follow through on that as well.
All right, coming to SMBs, globally SMBs are major force as far as employment is concerned, as far as digital economy is concerned. So SMBs are, you cannot discount the SMBs from any country for any country's growth. So
Yes.
what is the kind of size, market size from say dollar perspective or number perspective you have when you are targeting, when you are tapping into the market, you already have created a product for the SMBs.
Sure.
What is market size?
Yeah, yeah. So Sanjay, the small and medium business, which is SMBs worldwide, and the way we kind of proxy that is less than 1,000 employees. Yeah, organization is what we call SMB, right? That is a $6.6 billion market today, and the CAGR of that is about 5.8%. Yeah, year over year, coming out of the pandemic or as the pandemic slows down is probably 8%, but the CAGR over next 5 years is about 5.8%. There's two aspects to the SMB kind of market opportunity. That's the overall SMB. Part of the SMB is also just small businesses, and we proxy that with less than 100 employees. So how big is that market? That's a $2.6 billion market today. Out of the total I mentioned, more than 6 billion, 2.6 billion. That is growing at an 8.8% year-over-year growth, and the CAGR for that is about 6.2%, right? So as we look at our models within HPE, and we do this thing called market modeling. We model the market to see how big the markets are. That is kind of the overall global market size and market opportunity, which is huge. And as you mentioned, you can't ignore that, because at the end of the day, for some countries, SMBs is the lifeline of that country, because that's all they have in the smaller countries, right? So it is a huge market opportunity for us, and that is one of the reasons why we have created the Aruba Instant On brand. That is also one of the reasons why we've created specific programs for SMB. We have a program called Partner Ready for Networking, which we have created specifically for SMBs to give them incentives to grow the business, to give them rebates, when they do business with us, to allow them to access our digital assets. So we bring all of that through this kind of organization we have created, which is 100% channel-led business. So while this opportunity is huge, we are driving this opportunity from Aruba and from Aruba Instant On perspective through our channel partners. And it is 100% channel-led business. That means that all of this business which we do today are through our channel partners. And we see, it's very important for us, because their success is our success, especially in this space. And that's something which we take pride of, and we want to enable our channel partners to take advantage of this opportunity which exists out there, and we want them to be profitable, and that is why we have these programs which are tailored towards going after this marketplace.
All right. You said clearly that you are going after the SMBs through the channel partners, but there is one challenge which every SMB, I'll say every large enterprise also facing these days, is the skilled manpower within the organization. Even the channel partners, they are doing their bit from outside, but there is less people, skilled manpower, upskilling is not happening. There's so many technologies the organization are buying. Very, very difficult these days to manage all these technologies. Of course, channel engagement is definitely a boon for the customer, for the CISOs. AI and automation are certain things which some extent can help the organization or the CISOs. So what is your take on how as an OEM, or I can say a leading OEM in the cybersecurity space or SD1 space, trying to support the customers?
Yeah, it's a really, really good point. Even as we look at hiring people within our organization, it is a challenge today, right? Because I think, as you said, rightfully so, we are in a manpower scarcity right now, and how do we manage that, especially in the small and medium business space, right? Because it hurts there more than a large enterprise. In a large enterprise, you can move people around and try to fill gaps, but in a small medium business, there's just few people to start with. So moving people around is even more challenging. But I think the beauty of what we have done, and we've seen this trend, we actually saw this trend a couple of years ago when we put this business together. And what we've done, especially in the Aruba Instant On portfolio, is we've made the portfolio extremely easy to use so that you don't need any IT person to go install, configure, or manage this platform, which is just amazing, and that is why it's seen so much success in the marketplace. And not only it is a plug and play kind of network equipment, it is also easy to manage through your mobile phone. So you don't need an IT administrator. You don't need a team of IT professionals to manage the network infrastructure. So not only is it easy to use, so your grandfather, your grandmother, your kids, your grandkids should be able to configure this product. So we made it that easy. So the ease of use is a big pillar for this business. So the reason why ease of use is important is because we've seen that the skills and manpower required are scarce. To train them is even harder, right? Because they probably they're doing so many things that it's hard for them to focus on one thing. So training is even harder. And I think the manpower skill set is going to continue to be scarce for some period of time. So what we saw that, and from an innovation perspective, we built our products with that in mind. And so we have a very, as I mentioned, plug and play kind of a portfolio of wired switches, wireless access points managed through a mobile phone, right? You have a mobile phone through a cloud environment. So the mobile phone ultimately manages a cloud management platform which is available on your phone. Right, so the back end is cloud, but the management is all through a mobile phone. So it's that easy. So we've seen that kind of trend. We saw it early, and we've built the portfolio to really kind of capitalize on that, scarcity of manpower to ensure that people don't have to invest in large RT organizations. So our, the tailoring and the customization, and that's why I said at the start of the conversation is this is a purpose-built custom portfolio for this space to meet the needs of this space. And that is what we've built, and that is why we are successful in the marketplace.
All right, Amol. Well said. These days, what I'm seeing the kind of reverse journey of the customers. It started with cloud, obviously, but with the advancement of the technology, the CIOs are thinking of bringing back their assets to their own premise, on-premise. They're creating on-premise environment because there is hypercontainer, there is container technology also, and fortunately there are a good number of partners who are helping them. So are your solutions fit for both the environment? Obviously, cloud is a sweet spot or an easy to use for the SMB organization. But since some customer I'm seeing, they're trying to influence, they're bringing back their own assets. Are these solutions fitting into both these situations?
Yeah. It's a good question, Sanjay. As we have hybrid work from home, we have hybrid cloud as well, which is also here to stay. There's customers who are going to look at on-prem assets, and honestly, I think they're doing it. One of the primary reasons I think they're doing it is for security. Right, because I think they're more comfortable to have the physical assets closer to their organization than somewhere in the cloud, which could be, in their opinion, maybe, or in certain cases, just unsecure, right? So I think the reason why they want to bring things on-prem is, I think, one of the primary drivers is around security of assets, right? So the hybrid cloud environment where some assets are private, if you will, and some assets are public, or they're on-prem or in cloud, right, is here to stay because people now understand that you cannot honestly put every single thing in the cloud. Customer databases, customer profiles, customer information. Sometimes people in certain industries, especially in certain verticals, require them to be physically located on-prem, so to speak, or within their organization. So yeah, absolutely. And our products are absolutely tailored towards that, right? So we have, as I mentioned, you can manage the Aruba Instant On portfolio. I'm specifically talking about the SMB portfolio portfolio. You can manage it through the cloud, or we have a local management option also, which is the web GUI, which you can, basically telnet into the switch or into the access point, and you can manage it locally. So if you have, and if you're not comfortable using the cloud, or you're not comfortable managing it through the cloud, or you want to have physical assets locally within your organization, absolutely. We support that hybrid environment today in the entire portfolio. And it's again going to be customer choice. And we are meeting those customer choices with flexible options for them to deploy, manage, and configure their network infrastructure. So absolutely.
All right. Customer support. There is always a complaint these days that OEMs forget us. Once they sell their products, they forget us. We need to call them again and again, and it is very difficult to, get any support. Not always, obviously, but when there is a critical, challenge, the OEM doesn't support the way they should be. How do you manage to answer that question?
Yeah, I can bring a couple of points. I think the first point, as I mentioned, is this business, which is specifically the Aruba SMB business, is a channel-led business, and 100% goes to the channel. The overall Aruba business, about 93% of our business goes to the channel. The SMB business, 100% goes to the channel. And the reason I mentioned that in a support question is our customers' first point of contact is their channel partner who went and installed or who went and sold this product to them. So our support is actually multiplied by our channel partners today, right? Because if you're buying a access point or a switch in a tier 2, class C, class 3 city, then it's hard to get physical presence, IT presence locally. So it's great that we have a great channel ecosystem. We have a great channel breadth, channel coverage, where you can now, a customer can be rest assured they get local kind of support. If you will, in the pandemic, it's probably going to be remote support, but as they come out of the pandemic, you can also get physical, face-to-face support if required through our channel partners. So that's one, which is great. And that is why we built this product to be channel first, channel ready, and channel led. The second is that we've built this product so that you don't really need a lot of customer support. And to the first point you mentioned around artificial intelligence, we have, and our goal with this product line is to make our products self-healing, mostly, right? Self kind of configured, automated in a way where there's automation more so to see proactively what is happening on the network, as opposed to reactive customer support, right? So we've built the product in such a way that we have the capability of using AI to proactively understand if there's something which could go wrong in the network and self-heal that. And if that is not, enough, we've built it that way so that you don't need, as I mentioned, ease of use. We want this to be configured by you in your house and me in my house. And if we are not IT professionals, then it's hard to do that. So the same principle and the same brand promise goes for customer support. We've built it that way that you don't really need a lot of customer support because we've built AI, we've taken self-healing technology, we've done automation to make sure that the product is, very well taken care of. On top of that, we offer limited lifetime warranty. So we stand behind that. So when we say, okay, our products probably don't need a lot of customer support, we back that up with a promise of warranty, which is leading in the industry today. So we do that. And if that is not enough, we again finally have, as I mentioned earlier, the channel partners locally who can provide that touch and customer support. So we've built the ecosystem again with this thought process in mind around how SMBs want to treat their IT infrastructure from a pre-sales perspective, so before sales, and from a post-sales perspective.
All right, Amol. We covered the new product range that you are bringing in specifically for the SMBs. You said about the ease of usage. You said about the channel engagement, who are frontline people to address the customer needs. These are the things, if I am not wrong, are available with your competition as well, the Cisco, Juniper's, Huawei. So how do you differentiate yourself? What is your competitive advantage with the other players?
Yeah. I think, and I'll specifically talk about the competitors in the SMB space, right? Especially for small and medium enterprises, small and medium businesses. Because the competitors in that space go beyond the ones you had mentioned as well, right? So there's a lot of other competitors in this space as well. And we've taken a different tact on how we enter this market and how we provide solutions in this market for these customers. I kind of mentioned all the pillars to some extent, right? We've taken ease of use to a very different level. It is all about, as I mentioned, anybody should be able to install and configure these products, which most of our competitors either require a big guide or a handbook, or they need somebody to be physically present to do this, which is going to increase, IT administration costs and service costs and all that. So we don't need that right today within this portfolio. So we've seen what our competitors have done, and we've taken a different tack, and we've taken a tack where ease of use is truly ease of use. The second is, and just take an example of security, but as a feature, we've taken our enterprise security features and that fundamental principles and moved it to the SMB space. So a lot of our competitors, what they're doing is they're building SMB, and you're saying, SMB probably doesn't need a lot of security. Honestly, that's not true. SMBs need as much security as any enterprise customer does. In certain cases, they probably need more secure environment than some enterprises do, right? So we've taken that mindset, and we understand that for SMBs. So we've taken our enterprise security features and moved it into these SMB products, right? Third, and this is the most critical one, is we have built the product where there's no hidden cost. What does that mean? This portfolio doesn't come with any license to buy, no subscription to buy, no features are chargeable after the sale of the hardware, right? We've seen our so-called competitors sell the hardware product and then charge for other things. You want to enable better security, you got to pay some money. You want to enable a certain subscription for as a service capability, you have to pay, right? As a customer. In our case, no hidden fees, no hidden costs. There's no hidden agenda, because our goal is to make sure that everything is built in as opposed to bolted on to the product, right? So we've built this product so that there's no hidden cost, which is a big differentiator for us in this marketplace. And then finally, the Aruba business, which is the networking arm of HPE, has been doing this for the last 20 years. So we have a heritage, we have a strong kind of, if you will, legacy of being in this business, specifically tailored for the networking space. And we are taking that years of innovation, years of experience, and bringing it into the SMB space. So we understand this space better than some of our competitors who've come up recently in the world, because we understand that, that mindset, the value proposition, and the customer need better to build products better to serve their needs as well.
Amol, don't you think this question is connected to a skill shortage question? Don't you think that the time has come that you need to work more on developing MSSPs, those who can handle the challenges of security, the wireless LAN, or the other solutions,
or SD-WAN or something?
SD-WAN, even for that.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a space for that for sure. Whether it's MSPs or, just in general managed service capabilities, right? I think, for enterprises, large enterprises, sure, because I think the globalization of their IT infrastructure, the disparate, data houses, if you will, require some, MSPs to manage that environment, right? Clearly. In the SMB space, I think for certain SMBs, sure, especially as you go towards the higher end of the medium business side, yeah, I think there's an opportunity for them. I'm thinking, small businesses, probably not that much because they can't afford to do that. Also, while their assets are critical as well, they need to look at solutions like the ones we have, where you don't really need a large MSSP for this space to manage your environment. So yeah, I think, managed service providers are definitely something which is going to be there. They have a space for that. It's a big market, clearly, and it's going to grow, over time. But in this space, in the SMB space, I think if customers are able to manage their assets on their own in a secure fashion, then they may see lesser need for that MSSPs.
Correct. Now, what is your focus as far as India is concerned? India geography is concerned, widespread. Whether are you, thinking of expanding your footprints in different
Yes.
cities, B-class cities? Today, every city is growing. If you look at
Yeah, yeah.
200 cities, we had earmarked in 2018 or before that. Probably now the new cities have come up. Amravati
Absolutely.
is not, thinkable at that point of time. That city is growing. So also other cities, new cities are going up. And smaller cities, B-class, C-class cities are also becoming potential. What's your focus? Extending your own footprint, extending the channel footprint, skill development in the channel certification. Where are you focusing for this year?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for India specifically, there used to be before the mantra, you need to be in the metros to really drive your business forward. That used to be, I would say, the mantra. Now I think it's more about the opportunity outside of the metros. The B class, C class cities. We are definitely growing our own footprint there, in addition to our channel footprint. As I mentioned, this business is all around channel-led, channel-driven, channel-first business. So we see our channel partners in the upcountry markets, right? Whether you take the Class B cities, your Class C cities, etc. We see that opportunity to be incredibly fast growing, much more faster than any of the metros in India, especially geographically. And the reason is, especially in the SMB space, in the SME space, you have a lot of what we call mom and pop shops, right? Which are doing businesses normally in those upcountry markets. And this portfolio is exactly tailored towards that. This portfolio is built for that. So it'll be unserved if we don't go into that market. And as an Indian, as you can see, I understand this very, very well. And so the upcountry footprint, we are growing for sure. We're doing it two ways. One is what we call feet on the streets, which is our own kind of engagement, own resources. We are hiring like crazy. If you look at Indore, Nagpur, you look at a place where I'm from, Baroda, right? We're looking at all of those cities where how we're going to expand our own footprint. But more importantly, for this business, it is driven by the channel. And so we are recruiting, we're enabling, and we're rewarding our channel partners in upcountry, locally, to drive this business. Right. So we have a program called the Action Partner Club. And that is a program specifically built for upcountry channel partners to register themselves with us on a portal. And once they register themselves with us, we can enable them. We send them assets, we send them training, we send them webinars, we get them familiarized with our product, we give them branding assets, we give a little bit of marketing, and as they do sales for us, we reward them. So we have specific programs for B class, C class partners to really take advantage of the growth in those cities and growing with us, because their success is our success. We want to make sure that we, at the end, deliver a right package for them to take to their customers in that space. So Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Sanjay, right before we were talking, I was just having breakfast downstairs with one of our distributors, and that's exactly what we were talking about, is how are we going to grow up country with our distribution channel partners and our kind of normal long tail channel partners. So absolutely a big focus for us, especially for this product line.
All right, Amol, let us conclude our conversation
Sure.
with a little bit more about the product line that you have for the SMBs. How many ranges are there?
Sure.
How they are stacked? Kind of, if I can
Sure.
talk about.
Sure. Yeah. So we started this business with the launch of about 5 access points, which are wireless access points, which get you wireless connectivity from your laptop or from your phone. So we started this business with 5 access points. It's called the AP11, the AP12, the AP15, the AP17, the AP22. Then what happened is these products were what is called Wi-Fi 5 technology. We then there was a new standard which came out, which is Wi-Fi 6, which is a higher performance kind of access point. So we have expanded this wireless portfolio to Wi-Fi 6 now as well. So we have a couple of Wi-Fi 6 access points. So we have a strong Wi-Fi 5 portfolio. It is technically it's called 802.11 AC Wave 2. So we have that portfolio, and then we have this new Wi-Fi 6 portfolio, which is 802.11ax. We have that Wi-Fi 6 portfolio. So our Wi-Fi 6 portfolio has Wi-Fi portfolio, sorry, has about 6 different kind of access points in its range. To complement that, we have a wired switching portfolio. So when you have an access point, you need to connect it to a switch. And usually it is what is called a power over Ethernet switch. That means the power comes over the Ethernet cable. So you don't need to run a power to the access point, right? It just comes from the landline, basically. So we have a range of switches, power over Ethernet switches and non-power over Ethernet switches. That ranges from a series called the 1400 series, so the 1400 series, to the 1800 series, the 1900 series. Now, all of them, why are there 3 different series of products? The reason is because they come with different features. The 1400 series comes with unmanaged, so it's not managed. You cannot manage it. It's just a plug and play unmanaged switch. Then we have a layer 2 switch, which is the 1800 series, and then we have the 1900 series, which is light layer 3. So the price, the functionality and the features differ as you go up in the number, and they get more and more richer as you go up in the number. So that's our wired portfolio. So we have, today about maybe 35 to 50 switches in that space. So we have an access point portfolio, we have a switch portfolio. All of that managed through a single pane of glass, which is the mobile phone. Right, so we are using the mobile phone as the cloud management platform, or you can locally manage it as well without cloud, as I mentioned earlier, and all of that through this single pane of glass, remote management capability through your phone. So even while I'm here in India, I can manage my home network in Singapore, and I can turn off Facebook for my kids from here. Right, so it is that simple, and that's what we do. So that's the range we have: access points, switches, managed through a cloud portal, which is a mobile app.
All right, Amol, thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to SMB channels. I'll say a happy stay in India, get along with your customers and distributors, and do good
Always
business.
happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Appreciate your time. Thank you.